So thanks for finding time to sit down with me and interview for our site, kindcandy.com. So the first question I want to ask you is, how do you pronounce your name? Because a lot of people are confused. Is it Bahja or Bahja Rodriguez?
It's Bahja. My mom pronounces it like Bahja, but it's like my pronunciation of it is Bahja. I feel like that just sounds better.
Mm-hmm. And how old are you? Because we're not sure with the OMG Girlz. You guys never really revealed your age exactly.
Yeah, I'm 19.
Okay. So did you always want to go solo, or because you guys split is what forced you to really pursue a solo career?
Yeah, like our split was actually a little bit abrupt for me because as far as I was concerned, we were all on the same page, like about moving forward. And when the group ended, I was a little bit upset because I didn't really want to go solo and I didn't really know how I was going to do it. Like my whole creative team and everybody that I had worked with when I was in the group was pretty much taken from me at that point. And I had to start completely from scratch and figure out like who's going to produce for me, who's going to engineer, where am I going to record, how am I going to write, and I just pretty much had to figure it out, you know what I mean? And I figured it out, and I'm here now. I'm writing. My pen is pretty. I think my pen is pretty decent. I think it's nice for right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like next year, I feel like it's gonna be like 10 times better.
And why exactly did you guys split? Did you guys ever really elaborate on that? It was just kind of like you said, abrupt, or was there more reasons behind the split?
I think that it was a lot of things that that we didn't agree on, and I felt like what played a big part in it was the fact that we were turning 18 and we were able to make our own decisions like without our parents' consent. And I think that because we all love our moms and we all really do take into consideration how our moms feel and what they say, and I think that was kind of what clouded some of our business decisions was just having our moms involved, but I mean, we never really elaborated on it. It wasn't like a nasty split, or it wasn't like, anything negative. I don't have any bad blood with any of the girls, actually. Like, I just think, it was for the best, and we're all here. We still, we still talk. Well, actually, I just seen Bree and Zanik at my listening party, but we still talk, and, we see each other when we see each other, but it's no bad blood or anything.
Great. Now, with that being said, do you feel like with the history of girl groups, is it inevitable that all girl groups won't last, or they're going to just fall apart, or it's going to come with that backlash of there had to have been some kind of beef?
I think that with most girl groups, that's pretty much what they say it is, just because you have a group of girls, and girls tend to be very messy. I think that, it's inevitable for groups to split up, whether you're a girl group or a boy group. I think that, when you have a group of people together, everybody feels different, or at some point in time, everybody wants to do something different. Me personally, I felt like it wasn't really a lot of longevity in our group. Like, we started it when we were 12, and we ended when we were about 18, and we were still kind of pushing the OMG girl colored hair thing, and, we wanted to grow up,
right?
And that was pretty much that. But I definitely think it's inevitable, but I think that it doesn't have to be a nasty split unless you make it a nasty split.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. So let's get into the EP. Now, just tell me a little bit about it. How did you come up with the name? Why now? And tell us a little bit about the song, the sound that you're going for.
Well, the way I came up with the name for the EP was like this time last year. I was in a really difficult place, like mentally and physically. Like the group was going through what we were going through, and we were like in the process of figuring out what exactly it was that we were gonna do, and we weren't really making music like that. And my biggest thing has always been to make music. Like, I love it, and I've been making music since I was a kid. Like, so I was really in a bad place, and I feel like it gets better. It's just a description for me right now in the place that I'm in. Like, I feel so much better, just mentally, spiritually, like physically, and I'm here, I'm making music, and I'm having fun. My team is solid, and all the people that I have in place, I really do enjoy being around them, and it's all genuine love. The sound that I'm pretty much going for is just like R&B, but still modern. I want to keep my sound as much as about love as possible, but I don't want it to be too lovey-dovey. Like, I still want to have the sad element, or the, I don't care anymore. Like, you can go do what you want to do. I'm still gonna do me type of element. Like, I didn't really want it to be too lovey-dovey. So my sound is R&B, but it's like modern for me. So that's kind of how I feel about it.
So who are some of your musical inspirations, rather? People that you aspire to be like or have their career goal?
Brandy, definitely. She's on the top of my list. I feel like, because I missed out on Whitney. So I feel like Brandy's like the next best thing. I was in love with Britney Spears. That's something that people don't know about me. Like, Britney Spears is the one who got me started singing. Like, I was just obsessed with her. Beyonce, Faith Evans, Lauryn Hill, and Monica, and even Mary J. Blige. Like, my mom would play, like, once my mom figured out I was into music, she would just play so many, like, R&B singers in the car just so, like, I could have something to listen to and, like, imitate. So by the time I was ready to, like, have my own type of, like, music choice or, like, what I wanted to listen to, I would have, like, a little bit of diversity. Oh, and Usher, too.
So you said that you think your pen is good.
Yes.
Is that the phrase you use? Elaborate on that, because I know prior to our interview you kind of mentioned that you wrote on almost every track.
Yes.
So please elaborate on that. How did you discover that you could write your own music?
Well, when I was in the group, it was like we would come to the studio and the song would already be done and recorded. All we had to do was just come put our vocals on it. But when the group broke up, I was pretty much just out of options, and I didn't have people to write for me or people to produce for me, so I had to go and figure it out on my own. I'm so grateful that I actually was able to have that experience to go do it, because it only made my pen stronger. And when I first started writing and recording back in like March or April, I was just like, okay, I would get so frustrated. I would cry in the studio, and I'm crying to my engineer Kyrie. He writes with me too, and I'm like, bro, like, I don't know, none of this sounds good to me. Like, I would get frustrated and I would leave, but over time I just had to learn to be patient with myself, because I'm my own biggest critic, and I'm the worst critic, and I'm the hardest on myself. So I would naturally think like, nope, I can do better. I can do 10 times better. And I just had to get content with what I was doing, but still know at the same time that there's room for me to grow, but not let that discourage me. Right. So that was pretty much where my challenge came in, but I think I got over it, and I just started writing. I started writing how it felt, rather than what I felt like people wanted to hear, or what was on the radio, or what was trendy. Like, I just wrote from my heart how I felt like I went to past relationships, past experiences, just different things that happened to me in life, and I just put it in a song, and it just worked.
Right. Now, who are some of the producers that you worked with, writers, and trying to gather my thoughts. Some of the collaborators, rather. So, how did you pick them, and what are some of the favorite songs that came out of those collaborations?
So, on my project, I worked with Def of Urban Angels Music Group. I worked with Mello. I worked with Nash B. I worked with OG Parker on 2. And then on my last track, I'm trying to think, I can't remember his name, but on my last track, I just worked with a lot of different people. But with writers, I worked with Rick Rose and Forte Bowie. And the way that I just found everybody, it was kind of like everybody came to me in a sense. Like, when I was at the studio, just up at DART in Atlanta, I met Def and I met Mello through Rick. And that's kind of how I got hooked up with them. And then with Forte and Nash, like, we all have the same lawyer. So my lawyer, like, hooked that up. Like, because he saw my lawyer post about me or one of my song, Lipstick, and he was like, okay, I have to work with her. Like, I want to write her a song. And it actually came out really, really good. And then with OG Parker, like, one of my friends knew him, and he went through my friend and was like, I want to work with her. I think personally he might have liked me a little bit, but we still kept it he was very professional, and we just got the records knocked out. And that's pretty much how I linked up with everybody on there. Jacob, I've known him since I was like 12, so that was pretty easy. But I mean, everything was really organic, and it just kind of happened. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like I went searching for them or they went searching for me. Right. Like, it just happened.
Who would you say, or which song rather, is your favorite out of those collaborations?
My favorite is between Chill Turn Up Party for me and Place. Okay. I don't know. Like, see, this is always the hard part for me. I can never choose. But Ride or Die is good to me too. But it's between, like, Place, Chill Turn Up Party, and Ride or Die. I love those 3. I feel like they all just give you really different kinds of like elements to my sound, and just it shows my versatility because I don't always have to talk about love. I can talk about partying, I can talk about being super in love, and then I can talk about, well, oh, you're trying to flex on me, so I'm gonna flex on you. I'm gonna go out and do my thing. You know what I mean? And like that's pretty much why I like those three, because I feel like they're so diverse.
So, in today's society, with so many artists now having to have a look or a gimmick or some kind of appeal, do you feel like you feel pressured to have some kind of gimmick to make you stand out outside of just the music?
Now, no. I just feel like, my talent will definitely speak for itself. And I'm very confident in myself. I'm very confident in my music. And I feel like good music it's undeniable. You can't help but to listen to it no matter what. Like, 5 years ago, we never would have thought Fetty Wap was going to be, like, number one on the charts. You know what I mean? Like, we just never would have thought it. But if it's good music and people like it, I just feel like it's undeniable. And I feel like the gimmicks, like, you don't really have to play so much on it. And because I had pink hair, like, half of my teenage years, like, I'm just so over the gimmicks at this point and just trying to get people to notice me. And I'm just like, no, I want them to know me for my music rather than, oh, that's the girl with the pink hair. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm not really pressured at all. I'm just ready to get out and do it. I think that, I'm a cute girl. I feel like my music is good. So I feel like people will take to it.
Great. Now, which artist, if you could pick one artist, actually, your top 3 artists that if you look at their careers and you go, in a couple of years, that's where I want to be, who would those 3 artists be?
Drake, Nicki, because she's a brand. So I love her brand. I just love how she's completely branded herself at this point. And I'm trying to think of one more. Maybe like Frank Ocean.
Why those 3? Those are interesting to me because I assumed you would have picked 3 female artists.
I chose Drake because I feel like Drake is just like, as far as like writing and just his presence and his clout, I feel like he's the closest thing that we have to like a Michael Jackson type of person, but not really like with the performance or with the visuals. But I feel like with his songs,
talent-wise,
everybody can listen to it, and I want everybody to be able to listen to my songs, whether you're a boy, a girl, whether you're from the hood, whether you're from the suburbs. Like, I want everybody to feel like they can relate to me. With Nicki, I feel like, I've loved her ever since I was ever since she first came out, like in 2008. But, now I appreciate the way that she's branded herself, and I feel like no matter if I feel her music is the way it used to be or not, I feel like her brand still is always going to be just continuously going. She's always on tour. She's always having clothes or perfume or makeup or something. It's always something, and that's really where I want to take my brand as well. With Frank Ocean, I feel like it's such a demand for him, and I like the fact that he put out the album in 2012 and then he disappeared. And now it's like everybody's like, where is Frank Ocean? Where is Frank Ocean? And it's because the album was so good, his mixtapes were so good, and I want people to feel that way about me. Like, if I take a break, I want the public to be like, where's Bahja? We need an album, we need a song, we need something. So that's why I chose those three.
That's interesting. Now, what advice would you give young female aspiring artists? How did you get in the game, and what would you tell other people who want to get into music business, the business aspect of it, and then the talent aspect of it? What advice would you give somebody trying to pursue their own music career?
I would say never let anybody tell you that you can't or try to stop you. Like, in music, a lot of times people will say, oh, well, you don't look like this, so that's why this doesn't work, or you don't sound like that, so that's why it won't work. But I feel like in music, it's no wrong answer. You know what I mean? And I think that no matter what you do, as long as it's good, somebody's going to take to it. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of doors will get slammed in your face before the right door opens. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of times, a lot of artists, period, just get discouraged because people are telling them this is the wrong way to do it, when really it's art. So it's no wrong way to do art. You know what I mean? I think that business-wise, like, you just always have to keep your eyes open. I think that even people who will tell you that they have your best interests at heart, it's really not the truth. Like, with music, it's such a dirty game, and I've never let it change. Like, I never let it change my heart in the way that I feel, but I now know that I have to handle business and handle it like business. Like, I can't wear my heart on my sleeve or get emotional when somebody does something to me that I feel like is out of the way because it's just business and that's how everybody in music
Right.
moves. So I just feel like, never wear your emotions on your sleeve. Just know that if people are telling you no or they're telling you you can't do it, just be like, okay, take it, move on to the next person. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like, never let anybody doing anything ill to you or anything negative to you like discourage you from what your goal is and what your dream is, really,
Right.
because it really can. Like, people will really stop doing what they're doing because somebody said,
Right.
no, that's not correct.
Right. Now, before I go, I have to ask, do you think that there will ever be a reunion of the OMG Girls or a new OMG Girls, a new group altogether?
I think that at this current time, I don't foresee it. But I think that, if later on down the line, if they wanted to do it, I would definitely, pursue it. I would try to figure out how we could grow it up a bit because our name was OMG.
Right.
So I feel like it sounds a little bit childish. But we did always talk about wanting to put our own girl group together
Okay.
and, like, making them just super hot. So I think that that's something that we'll definitely pursue once we all get older and, we're well established in our solo careers.
Well, the audience obviously can't see you right now, but I love your style. So
Thank
who's
you.
your style inspiration or a look that you're going for, if you have one?
I think with me, it's not even more so a look. I think that I just try to be as cute as possible. Like, when I get dressed, I'm like, okay, let me see how cute I can get today. But I definitely do get on Tumblr a lot. And I see a lot of things on Tumblr that I like, or different styles, like, because it's really not necessarily like people that you would know. It's just really cute girls with really cute styles, and I'm like, okay, that's cute, or that's cute. Let me see if I could, like, pull it off. And sometimes I try to pull it off and
Right.
I can't, or sometimes I try to pull it off and I can.
Yeah.
But right now I don't have like a set stylist or anything. I just wake up in the morning and get dressed. My mom dresses me too. Like, she dressed me for my next one video and and stuff like that. So my mom is actually really, really good with styling. She dressed me for my listening party. So she's really like well versed, I guess, with that.
Where do you see yourself going in 5 years from now? Not just musically, but just as your career as a whole.
I definitely see me like number one on the charts, probably breaking into some type of movie at that point. Finishing up a world tour, about to start another one, the magazines and stuff. I'm starting my own label now, actually, but I definitely want to have artists signed to my label by then. And I want to do a lot of charity projects, actually. Like, in my family, my grandmother, she passed from AIDS, and I know some of my family members have had cancer, so I just really want to do a lot with like those type of organizations and start my own possibly. But I want to start like do a music school too. Like, I want to have a school where like people could come and apply and like come actually learn music, but learn like the creative part about it. Because I feel like when you go to school for music, it's so like boring. And I just want my school to be like, okay, you could come here, like, it's an open environment. You could just be creative and just let it go and just let loose and just be you. So that's how I want my music school to be.
Now, what do you want people to know about you that they don't already know, they haven't learned about you because you were in a group and you want to put out there, or for us to look forward to, rather?
I think that what people don't know, when I was in the group, I was always like super outspoken. But what people don't know about me, I feel like I'm really, really sensitive and I'm really, really personal. And when I make my music, it's coming from a super personal place. Like, I don't speak from places that I haven't been before, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I don't speak like, oh, we in a club turning up and that's not what I really did, or that's not what I really experienced. Like, all of my music really does come from my heart. So that's really what I want people to know about me. Like, when you're listening to my music, you're really listening to like a genuine project and like genuine feelings and genuine situations that have happened to me that you might be able to relate to.